Hello and welcome back to Hoi 4, Equestria War, the realm of Kiria under Rainshine. In today's video, we're trying to continue to fix ourselves as much as we can. A crisis of faith in Morning Secretariat. And lastly, I would like to propose the official separation of the function of the Way of Fire from the function of the state. Autumn Blaze snapped out of her daydream, Fickle Current's sudden proposal bringing her squarely back into reality. She wasn't alone in that. The rest of the Kirin assembled in the plenum audibly, including some of the Current's own clique. Ooh, and none more so than Winterfrost's traditional sect. We cannot expect business and industry to be beholden to the teaching of Way of Fire when our religious fundamentals were laid down before modernization of today's scale, which scarcely dreamed of. Current continued, pushing on with firm voice against the agitation of the plenum. Modernization relies squarely on one thing, and that is free-flowing river of currency from the hooves of the buyer into the hooves of the seller. When we are talking about the modernization of the present, thousands of tons of gold will exchange hooves in a season. And all of it has to be accounted for. Splitting off a portion of this gold in tiffs will only hamper the rapid pace of modernization. What use does Concord have for our gold, I ask you? If we are to move forward as a nation and as a society, the stranglehold Concord's temples have on our economy must be loosened for the greater good. I therefore move that this ties and abolish a sacred land held by temples and monasteries by opened up for the public use and private investment in efforts to speed up the modernization of the realm. Well, historically, that has usually helped nations grow. In like all nations where temple land is either given to the state or at least taken off of being. Usually, it's more temple land is not held for taxes and then they're begin to be taxed, and it frees up a lot of money for economies. Russia had that happen when Catherine the Great made them taxable, and it really helped her economy. So, you know, there is historical value to this. You reject tradition, Winterfrost screamed. You reject tradition! And Autumn felt her gut clench as the priestess briefly flicked with fury and fire. You do not know what it means to be a Kirin. You are a foreigner trying to shape our nation into the image of heathens. Have you traded Concord's divine spark for Griffin's boundless greed? The temperature in the plenum rose, both figuratively and literally, as tempers began to flare. Thankfully, it was Rainshine who stepped forward and put a stop to the brewing catastrophe nearly by standing up. When the plenum fell silent, she narrowed her eyes at every Kirin assembled. You will calm yourself by Concord's grace, she ordered, and her followers obeyed. Then she turned to Autumn Blaze. Premier, this is your disagreement to settle. Let us settle it, and move on, lest we lose ourselves in anger. Concord is Kiria and Kiria is Concord. We cannot separate the two. The Way of Fire worked centuries ago, but a secular hoof is needed to move on. So this would give us research speed, justify... Oh, it gives us supremacy. I feel like I gotta do it. That's so much good. Yep, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm giving them a little support through doing that, but it actually feels really good. Like, getting rid of some research speed minuses. Like, I like that a lot, so I'm doing it. Restoring the bureaucracy. Following the imposition of the silence, the system of bureaucrats and administrators that allowed the nation to function as a cohesive whole has since collapsed. It is time to appoint new advisors, governors, and administrators to once more take control of the realm, bringing the various local administrators back under the matriarch's control, and restoring the economy. There we are. Yeah. Alright. Next, I really want to get rid of agrarian. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the left side next. Well, actually, I might go down to here just to, because this is quick to get to. So where is that storm that happened? Why has it just not happened this time? Storm? Storm, you there? Are you there? No? Okay. I mean, I still can't construct things because I still have negative overall, but, you know, I'm closer. This will start giving me more construction speed, but, like, I need to get construction speed so I can actually build things. I'd like to be able to build. Broad alliteration. The agrarian society is really the main thing, which is why I really want to focus on it. But I think it's worth it to get this first. Yeah. Resettle Kieran returnees. As the Diaspora returns home, these long-lost sons and daughters of Kiria need a place to live. Thankfully, Kiria is a vast realm, full of land, and most of its towns and cities are underpopulated, meaning it will be easy to find homes for them all. This has the added benefit of boosting the average literacy rates in our population centers, even if it comes with a wide variety of potential subversive foreign ideas. Sure, let's continue holding our stability together and actually raising it. There we go. That'll help some. More research speed. Yeah, that helps with our literacy. That's good. The Port of Fragrance was once the most important in all of Kiria, connecting our nation with traders from as far as Griffonia. Fragrance Port was shut down when the science began, and its harbors have fallen into decay. With enough investment, however, we can return Fragrance to its former glory, and Fragrance can once again connect us to the rest of the world. Unrest in Fragrance. Fickle Current slowly marched up the stairs towards the burnt-out town hall, passing by scores of Kieran quietly sitting amongst the ashes in the protest. Their glares turned towards the Imperial guards gathered around the perimeter. It was only his third time visiting Fragrance, his family's ancestral hometown, but this time he came as an ally in the government. As soon as the news of the unrest in Kiria's once largest city reached Vermilion, Current had immediately volunteered his time to go and resolve the matter on the matriarch's behalf. As the procession of automobiles navigated the dirt roads between Vermilion and Fragrance, he had taken the time to read up on any information for Fragrance he could get his hooves on. As far as the reports went, Vermilion's attempt to assert its authority over its distant urban centers had been met with resistance in Fragrance, where the city's elected council refused to cede power to the Vermilion envoys, up to the moment they were forcibly removed by the envoy's guard detail. The bad blood between Fragrance and Vermilion. Yeah, them, I thought. I've lost myself. Now, the bad blood. Where's the bad blood? An invoice, the moment they were forcibly removed. The bad blood between Fragrance and Vermilion had boiled over, and a few near transformation had reduced the town hall to cinders. Now the Kirik protested by peacefully sitting in the courtyard of the demonstration town hall, but the conviction in their beliefs had not died down in the slightest. After asking around, Current shortly found himself directed to Cherry Blossom, the city's mayor and organizer behind the protest. He looked up from the papers on her table as Current approached and frowned at him. If you're here from Pavilion, then you might as well turn around and tell the matriarch that we won't talk until our lapdogs are on, she growled. Fragrance refuses to negotiate with the sons of Vermilion. What about a son of Fragrance, who will turn your rags back into riches? Current sat down across from her and set his hat down by his sides. My grandparents lost everything when the science ravaged our city, just like yours, but I'm back to make it right again. My friends are powerful, and they are the driving forces behind the repeal of the silence and the return of fragrance industry. You have my word as a delegate of the plenum and devoted son of Fragrance that I will do everything in my power to return our city to its former glory by shaping Vermilion policy from within. All I ask you is to stand back and stand by until the moment our glory comes. Cherry Blossom scowled, but after a moment she nodded in agreement. If you can save Fragrance, then by all means do so, she said. But now it takes a lot from Vermilion to undo 100 years of suffering. Fragrance will not be humiliated a second time. Nor will it be. You have my word. I see. That doesn't sound great. I don't love the sound of that, but hopefully that'll all just be completely hunky-dory, completely fine. Nothing could ever go wrong. What could possibly go wrong? That's what I always say, right? 1 year of progress. Fireworks blasted off into the sky, exploding into the night in a vibrant, dazzling ray of colors. Premier Autumn Blaze and Matriarch Superior Rain Shine watched them with both awe and reverence. Fireworks were not only pretty, they were an important tool in giving homage to the fire goddess Concord. Between the pops and bangs, music, singing, and the stomping of the hooves could be heard throughout Vermilion. It was only the first day of the new year, and one of the most important holidays in Kiria. And Kiria had much to celebrate over the past year, and a reason to be optimistic going forward. Kiria has changed so much in the past year, Rainshine remarked. The plenum had brought forward a seemingly impossible task and list of reforms for our nation. But not only have we tackled them with glee and vigor, the common Kirian are thriving in the change. It feels like the entirety of the nation has rallied behind the 3.5-year plan, and can feel the hearts and souls of my subjects standing with us. There's been so little turmoil and unrest in the nation, I can feel Concord's approval in everything that we do. Not bad for a mayor who has no political experience whatsoever, eh? Autumn teased, taking a jab at her. I'll be honest, I have no idea how things have gone this well, but the cooperation in the Plenum and Reform Bureau has been absolutely outstanding. We wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't. So let us hope it continues, Rainshine said. Please send my thanks and congratulations to the rest of your colleagues when you get the chance. You're all doing good work, astounding work, and if you keep the pace up, then the next 2.5 years should be as fruitful as the past one was. I certainly hope you're right, Matriarch. Give yourself a little credit too, Matriarch. We wouldn't be here without you. I mean, that one gives 20 extra political power, so I'm doing that one. I don't really know what the big difference is, but that one gives more political power, so yeah. Okay, we can get one of these now. Okay, so you're all 30. I'll go for, I'll just go for army offense. Why not? Let's start getting some army experience. Sure, I'll get half as much because of the silence, but it's 0.15 still not a bad amount, and I might as well start getting it as soon as I can. I haven't looked over here yet. What are yours like? Okay, so we do have a unique Vanguard thing. We also have Valiance. We have stuff for infantry, which seems good. We have a recon thing with also some good doing some research, some economy, some nuclear production at the end. We've got some wow. Okay, we've got so much good things. Duality of the Kirin, strength and temperance twice as bright. So these ones are mutually exclusive, these two. So, okay, basically attack or defense, and then... Okay. So it's basically asking, do we want to be offensive or defensive in nature? Kiria on the world stage. We have come far in our reforms, and the world is beginning to take notice. It is time we invite delegations from all across the world to Vermilion to witness not only our traditional culture, but the advancements we have made. This isn't all fun and games, however. Kiria needs help to move into the modern era, and making a good impression on our foreign peers will make them more likely to lend us aid. Kiria's covered cage. The Kirin sitting across Autumn Blaze unsettled her. There was something about him that wormed its way under her scales and made them itch. Maybe it was his eyes seemed to pick her apart whenever she spoke, or the slight crookedness of her muzzle, a memory from some traumatic injury long in his history. More likely it was the way he spoke, and what he spoke about, that made her feel ill at ease. Not even Matriarch Rainshine sitting at her side made her feel any better. Thank you for that lengthy history of the Banner of Covered Cage, Ember Wayne, Autumn said, picking her notes up and jogging the pages together. Picking notes up, and jogging pages together. There we go. I never knew that Matriarch Nocturcid's charm had created an organization so loyal and dedicated to enforcing the policies of the silence. Coming from a small farm in Massacot, I never would have imagined that one of the matriarch's banners was dedicated to rooting out any attempts to turn back the cloak and go back to what life was like before the silence. That's quite a doozy. It was necessary, Emberwayne grunted in a gruff voice. Here survival depended on making sure the science was followed. We worked in the shadows to make sure that it was. My family and the families of all the Bannerkin and comrades have spent generations enforcing it, without thanks or recognition for our hard work. We've always been loyal to the matriarchs, first to Noctitius Charm, and now to you, Matriarch Rainshine. Now with Kiria changing and the science ending, I came to you and on behalf of the Banner of the Covered Cage to ask for official recognition of who we are and what we did in the century since 903. It's time that we no longer are forced to live in secrecy, but be rewarded for our faithful work. Do this, Matriarch, and shall serve you however you see fit, with no reason to hide in the shadow. Before Rain could respond, Autumn nervously cleared her throat. Yes, well, we're all thankful for your work. I know I'd want recognition too if I had to do what you guys did, but Matriarch, we can't be too hasty here. When Rainshine raised an eyebrow, Autumn sucked in a deep breath. The Banner of the Covered Cage. Well, from what Emberwayne has told us, they check out with stories we've heard from peasants and farming villages about organized groups of bandits that would sack towns that tried to reorganize their societies during the silence. I don't think Ember is going to try to deny that this group was involved in that. So we have to be careful here. Do we really give official recognition to the Covered Cage, given how the public would feel about that? Or do we just keep this under the rug for the time being? It is too soon to officially acknowledge, or the Banner of Covered Cage will be recognized for their hard work. It is too soon to officially acknowledge. Sorry. It's just, it's not the right time. I'm sorry. Maybe later. Come back again. Hope have a good day. I hope you're doing well. All right, moving on. The Garden of Tranquil Florence. Autumn Blaze again touched the piece of paper rolled up and hidden inside one of the pockets in her vermilion and golden robes, as she observed the festivities in the Golden Tranquil Florence. It had been her masterpiece of her time as premier so far, a sprawling and lively festival to welcome Kieran back into the modern world by inviting delegations from all across the world to witness the resurgence of Kieran culture with the end of the silence. Delegations from Equestria, Aquilia, Wingbardi, and the Griffonian Empire were all present, along with envoys from many other nations, all bedazzled by the spectacles of Kieran folk songs and dances, pyrotechnics, gymnastics, and military drilling, the elite Kieran banners, and of course, seemingly endless Kieran cuisine. The past 2 days had been an effort to butter up the delegates and please them before giving her speech, in which she would politely ask for assistance from foreign nations in modernizing the realm. Modernizing a nation as large and disparate as Kiria within a few years would be impossible without outside help, after all. Hopefully the foreign envoys would be able to secure favorable terms with their governments if they left Kiria pleased and amazed with what they saw. But as Autumn prepared to give the speech, she still found herself wrestling with how to request the foreign aid. Winterfrost and the Sidrisnals had pressed her to take a more moderate approach, to advocate for the righteousness of the Way of the Fire and its tenets of living in harmony with nature rather than conquering it. Fickle Current, however, had urged her who found her request on Kira's abundance of natural resources, simply waiting for foreign capital to be exploited and traded around the world. It left Autumn in an uncomfortable position. Should he ask for help based on good faith and favors, or exchange resources of her home for the money of favors? We will ask for foreign aid in exchange for favors and concord blessing, or we will use our natural resources as a bargaining chip to bring them to the table. We'll use our natural resources. The Hyacinth Accord was an important first deal with a foreign nation after a century of isolation and stagnation. Russia's support in providing the foundation for our modernizing efforts has been invaluable. But now with our modernizing efforts well underway, we must decide whether to continue Equestria's support or forge our own path, free of any strings tying us to foreign economy. Yeah, we'll check it out. I'm actually building. I'm building somehow. I'm building while having like minus 21. Okay. I'm building. Actually, oh, I should stop that and start building now because it's actually at negative right now. Now it's actually gonna build and not start in the negative. That's probably a smarter way of doing it. I actually just want the one. We can afford to not have all our destroyers going at once. Which is the Melflu. Actually, first, I'll turn the deal. Autumnblade cringed as she finished her plea to the plenum, only to be drowned out by a chorus of unhappy voices. She had taken to the stand to ask for the plenum's support, extending the Hyanth's accord with Equestria, a deal that had been very helpful in funding the 3.5-year plan so far, but was deeply unpopular with both Fickle Currents and Winterfrost cliques. Now, after arguing with a renewal of the accords would give Kiria more funding and more resources to successfully finish the plan, she found herself nothing short of revolt by the other two parties in the plenum. You would give Equestria a greater share of her resources, a greater control of her national wealth, greater influence on the lives of every Kirin in this country, Fickle Current asked her. Our material wealth is precious to us. And when a nation has nothing left, it at least has resources within its own land. We will not be turned into beggars at the equestrian table. Will not stand for it. And neither will I, Winterfrost cut in. We are a nation supported by the strength of our faith in concord in the way of fire. What we are lacking is not material tools, but faith. The equestrians do not worship concord. They do not believe in the way of fire. How are we supposed to create a righteous nation if we stray from the divine will of our goddess to do so? We are not sacrificing anything, Autumn protested. We are exchanging something we have plenty for something we have little of. The equestrians are honest, forthcoming, and reasonable. The Reform Bureau has already made great progress on preliminary talks. The terms the equestrians offer us are generous and honest. They favor us more than they favor them. Do not turn your backs on help that we need because we are too proud to take it. But Autumnblade could do nothing now. She could tell that the Kirin in the plenum had made up their minds, as delegates left their seats to cast their votes, and a scribe tallied them up. Autumn could only gnaw on her hooves in worry, and hope that she had persuasive enough to sell the deal. The plenum votes to protect our sovereignty. The plenum votes to accept further equestrian aid. Further equestrian aid. Let's do it. Riches of the Mellifluve. The far branches of the Mellifluve once carried their exports down its waters to the city of Verdant, where they were organized and recorded before being launched to the rest of the realm as valuable products or to the world as trade goods. The towns along these branches have long since withered with the collapse of the economy and need our help to become prosperous once more. Alright. I haven't been able to get too many journal entries so far going down this path, but I'm liking the journal entries. They're interesting. Oh wow, this one actually takes a long time. I think I'm actually gonna do a different one first that takes less time. Because like doing both of these, which gives the same amount of agrarian society, is half the time. And sure, the infrastructure's not. Well, it does give infrastructure in the area. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. It's gonna take a while, but I think it's worth it. Urban-led modernization. Modernization, as has been seen time and time again, starts in the cities and trickles down to the countryside. Though our urban centers decline during the silence, we can rebuild them with new infrastructure that can support the modernization of the realm. This will have the side effect of allowing us to draw more Kirin into cities, bringing them to whole new levels of productivity. Now, this will take a little while, but we're just chilling. I mean, we're doing pretty good. We've been working on economy and like getting our stuff together. You know, I'm happy with how things are going. We're keeping our stability up, though it's costly to do so. But hey, modernization, you know, it's a bit of a stability drain, but it has to be done. It needs to be done. Do. Nah, not right now. You're too far away. I'm not really worried about you. Maybe another time. You know what? Sure, why not? We'll sign one. Why not? We might as well. And we will go ahead and do this again. We just need to keep that stability up. As long as we're doing it a good amount, we're keeping our stability up. We got to. It's really, really necessary to keep our stability up. It's keeping our nation together, you know? I'm also just feel like a slightly worried, like, well, what if something at some point is like, well, your stability is too low. Guess it's civil war time. Because I don't know what causes any of that. I really don't. And there we go. But I think this is a good time to go ahead and end this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And, as always, peace.